Welcome back to another journey of growth and self-improvement. I'm really glad you're here with me today. Thank you for taking the time to do something good for yourself. Just by being here, you're showing that you care about becoming a better version of you, and that means a lot. It takes courage to want more for your life. It takes strength to say, I want to grow and I'm ready to do the work. So I want to honor you for showing up today. In this video, we're going to talk about something really important, something that can completely change the way you think, act, and live. We're going to talk about 6 things that mentally strong people do. These are not just ideas or theories. These are real habits and mindsets that you can start practicing today. Mental strength isn't just for a few special people. It's not something you're born with or something you either have or don't have. Mental strength is something anyone can build over time. It's a skill, like learning to ride a bike or play an instrument. The more you work on it, the stronger it becomes. Many people think being mentally strong means hiding your emotions or pretending everything is okay when it's not. But that's not true. Mental strength is not about ignoring your feelings or never struggling. It's about learning how to deal with life's challenges in a healthy and powerful way. It's about knowing how to stay calm in the middle of chaos, how to get back up when life knocks you down, and how to keep moving forward even when things are hard. It's about building a mindset that helps you grow no matter what life throws your way. I know life can be tough sometimes. We all go through things. We all have moments when we feel like giving up, when we feel lost, or when we question if we're strong enough to keep going. But I want to remind you that strength isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every tough moment is a chance to become wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the future. You have so much power inside of you, even if you don't always feel it. And that's why this topic is so important. Because when you learn what mentally strong people do, you start to see that strength isn't out of reach. It's something you can build one step at a time, and the good news is, you don't have to make huge changes all at once. Small steps lead to big results. So don't feel like you have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to try, to learn, and to keep going. So let's get into the first habit that mentally strong people have. They embrace change and are open to the unknown. Change is one of the hardest things for many people. It can feel scary, uncomfortable, and uncertain. Most of us like feeling safe, and we find comfort in routines, even if those routines aren't helping us grow. Stepping into the unknown can feel like stepping into darkness. It's natural to feel nervous or unsure when things are different. But here's the truth. Nothing grows without change. If everything stayed the same, we'd never get better, stronger, or wiser. Mentally strong people know this. They don't see change as something to fear. They see it as something to welcome. They know that every time life shifts, there's an opportunity to grow. Maybe it's not easy, maybe it's uncomfortable, but growth never happens inside our comfort zone. They understand that the only way to move forward is to let go of what's holding them back. And sometimes that means walking away from what's familiar so you can step into what's possible. Think about a seed. It has to break through the ground to become a tree. That process might seem small, but it's powerful. Change is the same way. It might not feel good in the moment, but in the end, it's what helps us rise. So instead of running from change, mentally strong people lean into it. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? That mindset makes all the difference. So if you're facing a season of change right now, whether it's something big or something small, I want you to know that it's okay to feel nervous, but don't let fear stop you. You have what it takes to grow through what you're going through. Embrace the change, trust the process, and keep moving forward. Change, no matter how uncomfortable, is a chance to grow, to learn, and to become better. Even though it might not feel good at the moment, it's often the very thing that helps us become stronger. Life is always moving and shifting, and the people who learn to adjust and adapt are the ones who thrive. Think about it. When you look back at your life, weren't some of your biggest breakthroughs born from moments of change? Moments when you had no choice but to adapt and push through. Maybe it was starting over in a new job after losing one. Maybe it was healing from a breakup or going through a major life transition. Sure, those moments may have been painful or confusing, but they also shaped you. They brought out a strength in you that you didn't even know existed. You had to grow, whether you felt ready or not. And in that growth, you found a deeper version of yourself. Let's look at some real-life examples. Think about someone who was let go from a job they thought was secure. At first, they felt lost and unsure of what would come next. But instead of staying stuck in fear or blaming the situation, they used that moment to start something new. Maybe they launched a business, pursued a passion, or found a career path that was a better fit. Or consider someone who went through a painful divorce or breakup. Yes, it hurt, but that pain became the beginning of a new chapter. They rebuilt their confidence, rediscovered who they were, and started living life with a renewed sense of purpose. This is what mentally strong people do. They don't stay frozen in fear or caught up in what they've lost. They don't spend all their energy resisting the change or wishing things had stayed the same. Instead, they ask themselves empowering questions. What can I learn from this? How can I grow through this? They use every experience, no matter how tough, as a stepping stone towards something greater. You can do the same. The next time life throws a change your way, try not to fight it. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? And ask, what is this trying to teach me? Every ending has the potential to be a new beginning. The unknown isn't something to fear. It's the doorway to new opportunities. You never know what amazing things might be waiting on the other side of a difficult transition. Now, let's move to the second habit of mentally strong people. They manage their emotions instead of letting their emotions manage them. Let's be honest, our emotions can be powerful. Sometimes they hit hard and fast, catching us off guard. Whether it's anger, sadness, fear, or frustration, emotions have a way of clouding our judgment if we're not careful. We've all had moments where we've said or done something in the heat of the moment that we later regretted. And while it's totally human to feel deeply mentally strong, people understand that how they respond to those emotions matters even more than the emotions themselves. Being mentally strong doesn't mean you never feel upset. It doesn't mean you have to bottle things up or pretend everything is okay when it's not. Mentally strong people allow themselves to feel. They give themselves permission to experience the full range of human emotion. But the key difference is this: they don't let those emotions control their actions. They don't make decisions based only on how they feel in a single moment. Instead, they pause. They take a breath. They check in with themselves and reflect before reacting. They know that emotional outbursts or impulsive choices often lead to regret. So they choose to respond, not react. That pause gives them the power to think clearly and act in a way they won't later question. Think about a time when emotions got the best of you. Maybe you got angry and said something hurtful. Maybe fear held you back from taking a chance. Maybe anxiety made you second guess yourself. In those moments, it's easy to feel out of control. But here's the truth. Your emotions are part of you, but they are not you. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are the person who chooses what to do with those feelings. One of the most important skills you can learn is how to manage your emotional responses. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about being intentional. The next time you feel overwhelmed, take a moment. Breathe. Remind yourself that you get to decide how you act. Your emotions might show up loudly, but they don't get to drive the car. You do. Remember, being emotionally aware doesn't make you weak. In fact, it makes you powerful. The strongest people are the ones who can stay calm during chaos, who can feel deeply but still think clearly, and who choose to act with wisdom instead of reacting with regret. 3. They set boundaries to protect their time and energy. This one is a big deal. We live in a world where it feels like everyone wants a piece of our time. Whether it's family, friends, co-workers, or even people online, there are constant demands on our energy and attention. Messages, emails, favors, invites, requests. Some days it can feel like you're being pulled in 100 different directions. And while it's a beautiful thing to want to help others or be there for the people you care about, there comes a point when you have to ask yourself, at what cost? Mentally strong people understand this. They know that time and energy are limited resources. Once your energy is gone for the day, it's gone. You can't give your best to the things that really matter, your goals, your health, your relationships, if you're constantly drained by everything and everyone around you. That's why mentally strong people make it a priority to set healthy boundaries. Not because they don't care, but because they do. They care about protecting their peace, their focus, and their well-being. Setting boundaries doesn't make you selfish, it makes you smart. It's actually one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and others. Because when your energy is protected, you show up better. You're more present, more focused, and more capable of giving from a place of overflow rather than depletion. You're not snapping out of frustration or saying yes with hidden resentment. You're showing up with a full cup. Mentally strong people have learned that saying yes to everything can quickly lead to burnout. So they make thoughtful decisions about where their energy goes. They don't say yes out of guilt, fear, or pressure. They say yes because something aligns with their values, their purpose, or their current capacity. And when it doesn't, they're not afraid to say no. For example, if they're already stretched thin at work, they'll politely decline extra tasks that would push them over the edge. They don't feel guilty about needing rest or taking a mental health day. They understand that rest is not laziness. It's a requirement for long-term success. They take breaks without apologizing, and they recharge so they can keep moving forward with clarity and strength. They also protect themselves emotionally. If a relationship is toxic or draining, they don't just tolerate it out of obligation. They create space. They limit their interactions or walk away if needed. They know that their peace is too important to sacrifice for people who consistently bring negativity into their life. Now think about your own life. Has there been a time when you felt exhausted, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained because you didn't set boundaries? Maybe you said yes to too many things, or you kept quiet when someone was overstepping your limits. It's a common experience, and it doesn't mean you're weak, but it is a sign that it's time to make a change. Mentally strong people don't wait until they're burnt out to draw the line. They stay ahead of it. They check in with themselves regularly. They ask, how am I really feeling right now? Do I have the energy for this? Am I saying yes out of pressure or because it truly feels right? These small check-ins help them make better choices about where they put their time and energy. Here's the truth. You don't have to say yes to everything to be a good person. You don't have to be available 24/7 to prove your worth. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your space, your peace, and your priorities. In fact, doing so will help you become even more effective, present, and fulfilled in the areas that matter most. So if you're someone who struggles with setting boundaries, start small. Practice saying no without over-explaining. Give yourself permission to pause before agreeing to something. Listen to how your body feels when you're about to say yes. Does it feel peaceful or pressured? Over time, these small changes will build up, and you'll find it easier to stand firm in your boundaries with confidence and calm. Remember, strong people protect their energy because they know it's what fuels their growth. You deserve to do the same. 4. They take responsibility for their actions and learn from mistakes. Let's be honest, none of us are perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone faces failure and has moments they wish they could do over. That's just part of being human. But what separates mentally strong people from others isn't that they never fail. It's how they respond to failure. Mentally strong people take full responsibility for their actions. They don't waste time blaming others. They don't make excuses or try to shift the fault onto someone else. And they definitely don't play the victim. Instead, they look at what happened, own their part in it, and ask, what can I learn from this? This is where real strength comes from. Not from being perfect, but from being honest, humble, and willing to grow. Taking responsibility is the first step to taking back your power. When you own your decisions, both the good ones and the bad, you're putting yourself in a position of control. You're saying, I have the ability to learn, to change, and to do better next time. And that's incredibly empowering. Mentally strong people believe that they are the architects of their own lives. They know that while they can't control everything that happens to them, They can control how they respond. They take ownership of their attitude, their effort, and their choices. They don't sit around waiting for things to magically get better. They reflect, they adjust, and they take action. For example, let's say someone starts a business and it doesn't work out. It would be easy to blame the market, the economy, or bad timing. And sure, those things might play a part, but a mentally strong person doesn't stop there. They ask themselves hard but honest questions like, did I prepare enough? Did I make the right decisions? What can I do differently next time? They use failure as feedback. They don't let it define them. They let it refine them. They also understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every successful person you admire has made countless mistakes along the way. But what made them successful wasn't that they avoided failure. It was that they learned from it. They didn't quit. They didn't let one mistake stop them from trying again. They kept showing up, wiser and stronger each time. Think about a time in your life when something didn't go the way you planned. Maybe you made a bad decision, or you missed an opportunity, or something just didn't work out. In that moment, it probably felt frustrating or disappointing. But now, looking back, what did you learn? How did that experience help you grow? That's what mentally strong people focus on. They don't beat themselves up or stay stuck in guilt. They forgive themselves, learn from the moment, and keep moving forward. They understand that every mistake is just a lesson in disguise. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to keep growing. So the next time you make a mistake, and you will because we all do, don't run from it. Don't hide it. And don't waste energy blaming someone else. Instead, take a deep breath and take responsibility. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How can I use this to become better? That shift in mindset is what builds mental strength. Remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the hard moments, the moments when you mess up, fall short, or get knocked down. But when you take responsibility and decide to rise anyway, you're building the kind of inner strength that nothing can shake. Mistakes aren't failures, they're stepping stones. So walk on them, learn from them, and keep going. Because every time you do, you're one step closer to the version of yourself you're meant to become. 5. They practice self-compassion and don't beat themselves up. In a world that constantly pushes the idea of perfection, it's easy to become your own worst critic. We see perfect images on social media, hear stories of overnight success, and feel pressure to always be on, always be achieving, always be getting everything right. So when we fall short of those high expectations, it's common to turn inward and start tearing ourselves apart. But mentally strong people don't live like that. They know that self-compassion isn't a weakness, it's a strength. They understand that in order to grow, heal, and keep going, they need to be kind to themselves, especially in tough moments. Instead of beating themselves up for every mistake or misstep, they speak to themselves with the same care they would offer a close friend. Self-compassion means accepting that you're human. And being human means you're going to mess up sometimes. You'll make decisions you regret. You'll fall short of your goals. You'll have days when your motivation disappears or your emotions feel too heavy to carry. That's all part of the journey. Mentally strong people don't deny these moments. They don't pretend they're okay when they're not. But they also don't let these moments define their worth. Instead of criticizing themselves harshly, they pause and say, "It's okay. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm still worthy even when I fall short." They give themselves permission to be imperfect and still move forward. Now let's be clear. Self-compassion isn't about making excuses. It doesn't mean ignoring poor choices or pretending everything is fine when it's not. What it does mean is that you take responsibility without adding shame. You recognize where you went wrong, but instead of attacking yourself, you look at the situation with honesty and care. You say, "I made a mistake, but I'm still growing. I can learn from this and keep going." That's a powerful shift, because when you constantly criticize yourself, you shut down. You stop trying. You feel stuck in shame. But when you meet yourself with kindness, you create space for change. You're more likely to take responsibility, learn the lesson, and try again. You create a mindset that encourages growth, not guilt. Think about how you talk to yourself when things don't go as planned. Would you say the same things to a friend? Would you tell them they're a failure? That they're not good enough? Probably not. So why say it to yourself? You deserve the same compassion, grace, and support that you freely give to others. For example, imagine you set a goal to wake up early every day and be productive, but then one morning you sleep in and don't get anything done. The old voice in your head might say, "You're so lazy, you'll never be consistent. Why even try?" But self-compassion sounds different. It says, "Okay, today didn't go as planned. That's all right. What can I do to make tomorrow better? Let's try again." It's gentle, but it's still honest. And that kind of mindset keeps you moving forward. Mentally strong people know that progress isn't always a straight line. Some days will be hard, some goals will take longer, but they stay committed by being their own biggest supporter, not their harshest critic. They remind themselves that setbacks don't mean failure. They see each mistake as a chance to grow, not a reason to give up. So the next time you miss the mark or fall short of a goal, don't spiral into self-blame. Don't speak to yourself in a way that damages your spirit. Instead, pause and show yourself compassion. Say something kind. Take a breath. Reflect on what you've learned, forgive yourself, and then take the next small step forward. Remember this: you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to have it all together to keep going. Growth takes time, and grace is part of the process. Mentally strong people know that success isn't just about pushing harder. It's about treating themselves with love, patience, and respect, even when things don't go as planned. You are not your mistakes. You are not your setbacks. You are someone who is learning, evolving, and doing your best, and that's more than enough. 6. They never stop learning and evolving. Last but definitely not least, one of the most powerful habits of mentally strong people is their commitment to constant growth. They are lifelong learners. They understand that learning doesn't end after school, and personal growth doesn't stop once you reach a goal or milestone. Life is always changing, and mentally strong people know that if they want to keep growing, they have to keep learning. They're not afraid to ask questions. They don't pretend to know everything. Instead, they stay curious. They look for new ways to improve themselves, their mindset, their habits, and their skills. Whether it's through reading books, listening to podcasts, attending workshops, taking courses, or simply learning from the people around them, mentally strong people are always seeking out knowledge. They believe that every day brings a new opportunity to become better than they were the day before. Even in small ways like learning how to handle stress better, communicating more effectively, or improving their health, they know that progress is always possible, and they never let their ego get in the way. They don't see learning as something only for beginners. They see it as something for everyone, no matter how far along they are. In a world that changes so quickly, staying stuck in what you already know can hold you back. Mentally strong people understand this. They don't get too comfortable. They don't become complacent or assume they've arrived. Instead, they keep growing, evolving, and reaching for their full potential. Because they know that the more they grow, the more they can give to the world around them. The key is to stay open. Be open to new ideas. Be open to feedback. Be open to being wrong and learning from it. Growth comes from a willingness to step into the unknown, to challenge what you think you know, and to believe that there's always more to discover. In your own life, you can start small. You don't need to dive into a full course or read a stack of books overnight. Maybe it's listening to a podcast on a topic you're curious about. Maybe it's asking someone for advice or learning a new skill that helps you in your personal or professional life. Maybe it's just reflecting on your own experiences and finding the lessons hidden in your day-to-day moments. It doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is that you keep going, keep growing, keep learning, because your potential is limitless. You are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to evolve. And there you have it. 6 powerful habits that mentally strong people live by. These aren't just nice ideas to think about. They're real, practical tools that you can start applying to your own life right now. These habits have the power to shift your mindset, reshape your daily routines, and help you build a solid foundation for lasting success, inner peace, and emotional balance. Embrace change, even when it's uncomfortable. Take control of your emotions before they control you. Set healthy boundaries to protect your time, energy, and peace. Take full responsibility for your actions and grow from every mistake. Practice self-compassion instead of self-criticism. You are human, not a machine. And above all, never stop learning, evolving, and reaching for your highest self. These 6 habits are not quick fixes. They're life principles. They're the building blocks of mental resilience, emotional maturity, and deep self-awareness. When you practice them consistently, day by day, you'll begin to notice something powerful. You feel stronger, calmer, and more centered, even when life gets chaotic. You'll stop reacting to every challenge with fear or frustration and start responding with confidence, clarity, and purpose. And remember, mental strength isn't about having it all figured out. It's not about being perfect or always staying positive. It's about choosing to keep going, choosing to grow, and choosing to rise again, even when things get hard. It's about doing the inner work, quietly, patiently, and consistently, because you know you're worth it. So if this message resonated with you today, I want you to take a moment and appreciate how far you've already come. The fact that you're here, listening, learning, and investing in your personal growth says a lot about your character. You're not settling. You're not giving up. You're choosing to show up for yourself. And that's something to be proud of. Just imagine where you could be a year from now if you started applying even one of these habits every day. Imagine the clarity you'll gain, the confidence you'll build, the relationships you'll strengthen, and the challenges you'll overcome. This is your path, and you get to walk it with power, with peace, and with purpose. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm genuinely proud of you for taking these steps toward becoming